Welcome to everyone. Today in this video I am going to discuss about the design of flange coupling. So this one is the drawing of a flange coupling, and first I will discuss about the flange coupling and then I will discuss how to design it. Here first we will take a look different parts of the flange coupling. So let's start. Uh, this one is the driving shaft, from where we transmit the power to another shaft, which is called driven shaft. And you see here that both shafts are coaxial, so we can transmit the power from driving shaft to driven shaft. These are the two flanges, driver flange and driven flange, and this portion of the flange is called hub. There was keys. Key is placed between hub and shaft for tightening and prevent the slip between shaft and flange. And also there was some nut and bolts to hold these two flanges together. Now we will take a look the flange coupling at the disassemble condition. Here we see two flanges. One flange is for spigot side and another one is for socket side. It will be better if we compare it with the cross-sectional view. So this is the full sectional front view of this flange coupling, and this is the flange for spigot side, and this one is the flange for socket side. Look at this portion of the hub. There was a socket, so that other part of hub from the spigot flange can be inserted into this socket portion of the hub. Look at the shaft and hub. There have a cut slot between the shaft and hub for insert the key. And look here that half portion of the key is inserted in the shaft and another half part is inserted to the hub, so that the key is used here to prevent the slip between the hub and shaft when the shaft is rotated. There was another important thing, which is the material. Here the shaft is made of steel and the flange is made of cast iron, and keys and nut bolts are made of mild steel. Now we will go to the design part. We will discuss the design through a problem. Here we see the problem is that design a cast iron protective type flange coupling to transmit 15 kilowatt at 900 rpm from an electric motor to compressor. The service factor may be assumed as 1.35, and the following permissible stresses may be used. So shear stress for shaft bolt and key material is 40 MPa. Crushing stress for bolt and key is 80 MPa, and shear stress for cast iron is 8 MPa. Then draw a neat sketch of the coupling. So now we will take a look the which data is given. So first one is P, that means power is 15 kilowatt, that means 15 into 1000 watt. Okay, next is the N, that means rpm, the rotation of shaft per minute, revolution per minute, which is 900. Okay, next service factor is 1.35, and next one is the shear stress, tau is, that means shaft, and tau b for bolt shear stress, and tau k for key, which are will be equal, and the value of tau is 40 MPa, that means 40 Newton per millimeter square, and the crushing stress, which is sigma c. Here sigma cb for bolt and sigma ck for key, which are equal value, and value is 80 MPa, that means 80 Newton per millimeter square. And next one is shear stress for cast iron, we know that for the flange material is the cast iron or flange or half. So tau c is 8 MPa, that means 8 Newton per millimeter square. So here, before start any design, we have to know the relation between power and torque. So let's start. First one is the angular velocity, which is denoted by omega, and we know that omega is theta by t, where theta in radians and t is in second. And here n is the number of revolution per second. And as we know that for one revolution, the angle rotate will be 180 degree, that means 2 pi radians. And for n revolution, it will be 2 pi n radians. As n is revolution per minute, so for 1 minute or 60 second, the angle rotate is equals to 2 pi n radians. And for 1 second, the angle rotate will be 2 pi n by 60, which the unit is radians per second. And as we know that omega is radians per second, so omega will be now 2 pi n by 60. Now look at this picture. Suppose this is the cross section of shaft whose radius is r, and suppose it is rotated in clockwise direction. So here F is the circumferential force and S is the distance moved by the force F, where theta is the angle in radians generate for move the S distance. As we know that work done is equal to force multiplied with the distance moved by the force. So W is equals to force F into S, where W is equal to work done and F is force, S is the distance moved by the force. So for an angular motion, we can write that W is equals to F into r theta, where r is the radius, which is in meter, and theta is the angle in radians. Now we will calculate the torque, which is denoted by capital T. And as we know that torque is the turning or twisting force about a axis. Now we will look at the figure, and from here we will get that T is equal to F into R. That means force into radius. So here we can write that W, work done W is equal to T into theta, where T is the torque and theta is the angle in radians. As we know that power is equal to work done by time, so we can write here that P is equal to W by T. And from the previous equation, we can see that W is equal to torque into theta. So here we can write that P is equal to T into capital T into theta by small t. And as we know that theta by t is equal to omega, so here we can write P is equal to T into omega. And previously we calculate the omega is 2 pi n by 60. So here we can write that P is equal to 2 pi nt by 60 in watt. So from this equation we can calculate the torque T, which is equal to P into 60 by 2 pi into n in Newton meter. Now we have to calculate another formula between the shear stress tau and the torque T. So here in this drawing we see that when the torque T is applied, there will be generate shear stress, which is tau, and which will be distributed from 0 at the center of the shaft to the maximum at the outer edge. And r is the radius of the shaft. And as we know the formula, tau is equal to T into R by I, where tau is the shear stress in Newton per meter square and T is the torque in Newton meter and R is the radius in meter, where I is equal to polar moment of inertia. And we also know that the moment of inertia for circular cross section is pi into d to the power 4 by 32, and so the t is equal to tau into I by r. Now I will put the value of I, and for the r I will write d by 2. D is the shaft dia, and finally we get the formula that torque T is equal to tau into pi into d cube by 16. Here is the empirical relation of the flange coupling, and we consider the shaft dia as small d. So first of all I will design the shaft. So let's start. First of all, we know the formula that torque T is equal to P into 60 by 2 pi n, and from using this formula we get the value of torque is 159.13 Newton meter. Since the service factor is 1.35, so we will multiply the torque with 1.35 to get the maximum torque, which will be 215 Newton meter, and it will be convert in millimeter. So it will be 215 into 10 to the power 3 Newton millimeter. And as we know the formula that the torque transmitted by the shaft T is equal to tau into pi into d cube by 16. So here we use this maximum torque, which is 215 into 10 to the power 3 Newton millimeter, and here the tau is the shear stress given by the value is 40 Newton per millimeter square. Use this formula, we get the value of D, which is 30.1 millimeter. So we take the nearest full digit, that means 35 millimeter, to oil our design, and we use the shaft dia 35 millimeter for each calculation. Now we will do the design of hub. So from the empirical relation we know that outer dia of the hub, which is capital D, is equal to 2 into small d, and we know that small d is the dia of shaft. So from this calculation we get that outer dia is 70 millimeter, and length of the hub L is equal to 1.5 d. So we get length of the hub is 52.5 millimeter. Now we have to check the shear stress for the hub portion. So for this we have to treat from this total length, that is 1.5 d, as a hub. So we see here that the hub is a hollow shaft, and now we have to calculate the shear stress, that means induced shear stress, which must have to be less than allowable shear stress, that means 8 MPa for cast iron. And we know that if hub is rotate with the shaft, there must be generate a torque, and we know the formula that the shear stress tau is equal to torque into R by I, that means moment of inertia, and from there we can write that torque is equal to tau into I by R, and we also know that I is equal to pi into d to the power 4 by 32, and for the hollow shaft it will be pi into capital D to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4 by 32. Now we will put the value of I and R, and here R will be capital D by 2, and tau c is the shear stress for cast iron, which we have to induce, and capital T is the maximum torque, which we have been calculated previously, that is 215 into 10 to the power 3 Newton millimeter. And from this equation we get the value of induced shear stress, which is 3.4 Newton per millimeter square, that means 3.4 MPa. So we can see here that induced shear stress for cast iron is 3.4 MPa, which is less than 8 MPa, and we know that 8 MPa is the allowable shear stress for cast iron. So therefore the design of hub is safe. Now we'll do the design of key. And from the empirical relation, we know that width of the key W is equal to D by 4, and thickness of the key small t is equal to D by 6, and length of the key is equal to length of the hub, that means 1.5 D. We see here that if the shaft is rotated, then a shear stress induced in the key, and the shear area will be W into L, where W is the width and L is the length of the key. And similarly, we know that a torque will be generated, and we know the formula: torque T is equal to force into radius. And we also know that stress is equal to F by A, where F is the force and A is the area. So we can write here that tau is equal to F by WL, where WL is the shear stress area. So we get from this equation that F is equal to tau S into WL. Now we can write that torque is equal to stress into area into R is equal to tau into W into 1.5 D into D by 2, because we see here that R is equal to D by 2. And previously we calculate the torque, which is P into 60 by 2 pi N. And from this equation we have to calculate the shear stress, which is tau I, that means induced shear stress. And now we have to check that if this induced shear stress is less than the allowable shear stress, and if it is smaller than the other, then our design is correct or safe. Now we will calculate the crushing failure of the key. We will see in this drawing that if the shaft is rotated, there will be generate a crushing stress in this area. And we look here that the half portion of the thickness of the key is inserted into the shaft, that means T by 2. So the crushing area will be T by 2 into L, where T is the thickness of the key and L is the length of the key. And as we know that torque is equal to force into radius, and we also know that force is equal to stress into area. So we can write here torque is equal to sigma C into T by 2 into L into D by 2. Here we know that R is equal to D by 2. And we also know that torque is equal to P into 60 by 2 pi N. And to use this equation, we have to calculate the crushing stress, that means sigma C induced, and we have to compare with this crushing stress with the allowable shear stress, and if it is less than the allowable shear stress, then the design of key is safe. Now for our problem, here, since the crushing stress is twice the shear stress, therefore we may use square key, and according to empirical or standard relation, the width and length of the key will be D by 3, that means 12 millimeter. Let us now check the induced shear stress in the key. As we know that maximum torque is equal to tau CKI into W into 1.5 D into D by 2, where tau CKI is the induced shear stress for the key. And we also know that maximum torque is 215 into 10 to the power 3. So we put all the values to calculate the tau CKI, and after calculating we get the value of tau CKI is 19.5 Newton per millimeter square, which is less than the allowable shear stress, 40 Newton per millimeter square. So the design of the key is safe. Now we have to check the induced crushing stress, and we also proved that formula previously, that torque is equal to sigma CKI into T by 2 into L into D by 2, where sigma CKI is the induced crushing stress for key. And after putting all the values, we calculate the value of sigma CKI is equals to 41.7 Newton per millimeter square, which is less than allowable crushing stress 80 Newton per millimeter square. So that we see here that our design of the key is safe. Now we will do the design of the flange, and from the empirical relation we get the TF, that means thickness of flange, is equals to D by 2, that means 17.5 millimeter, and the outer dia of the flange, capital D2, is equals to 4D, that means 140 millimeter. Now we'll take a look at the drawing, that if the torque is generated for the rotation of the shaft, there also be generate a shear stress between the hub and flange in this position, and the shear stress area will be pi capital D into TF, where capital D is the outer dia of the hub, and that is equals to 2D, we know, and the TF is the thickness of the flange. We know that torque is equal to force into radius, where F is the stress into area and R is D by 2, and we know that area is pi D into TF. So we can write here torque T is equal to tau Ci into pi D into TF into D by 2, where tau Ci is the induced shear stress for the material cast iron. And we also know the value of torque. From this equation we have to calculate the induced shear stress and have to check it that it is less or greater than the allowable shear stress. If it is smaller than allowable shear stress, then our design will be okay. Now here for our problem, we put all the value on the formula above to calculate the value of induced shear stress, which is tau Ci. And now after calculate, we get the value of tau Ci is equals to 1.6 Newton per millimeter square, and which is less than the allowable shear stress, 8 Newton per millimeter square. So that we see here that our design for the flange is safe. Now we will design the bolts. So let's see this drawing, where we look that small d1 is a nominal dia of the bolt and n is the number of bolts, and we look here that the pitch circle dia of the bolts is capital D1, and from the empirical relation we take capital D1 is equal to 3D, where D is the diameter of the shaft. Now we will look at this drawing. Here we see that the bolts are subjected to the shear stress due to the torque transmitted, so that the shear area will be pi by 4 di square, and we know that di is the nominal dia of the bolt, and we also know that the torque is product of force and radius. So we can write here that T is equal to F into R for 1 volts, and we know that force is equal to shear stress into area, and R is the radius, and here radius will be capital D1 by 2. So we can write that torque is equal to tau B into pi by 4 di square into capital D1 by 2 for 1 volt. And for the n number of bolts, total torque will be tau B into pi by 4 di square into capital D1 by 2 into n, where n is the number of bolts. Now from this equation we will calculate the small di, which is the nominal dia of the bolt. Now let's we come back to our problems. Here, since we take the dia of shaft 35 millimeter, therefore we take the number of bolts n is 3. Now we will put all the values, use this equation, and then calculate the small di, which is the nominal dia of the bolts, and after calculating we get the small di is equal to 6.6 millimeter. Now assume coarse thread, we will take the nearest standard size of bolt is M8, that means metric thread, and bolt dia is 8 mm. Now we will calculate the pitch circle dia, which is capital D1 is equal to 3 into shaft dia 35 millimeter, that means 105 millimeter. Finally, we check the induced shear stress for use the bolt dia 8 mm. So we put all the values, use this equation, and we calculate the tau vi, which is the induced shear stress for bolt material, and after calculating we get the induced shear stress tau bi is 27.1 MPa, which is less than the allowable shear stress 40 MPa. So we see here that the design of bolt is safe. So here is the final drawing of our flange coupling design, and front view of the flange is half sectional. So draw the section line A dash, and as we used 3 numbers of bolt, so the angle between two bolts will be 120 degree. And one thing is here, I use a hidden line to better understand, but for the sectional front view you no need to give the hidden lines. And another important thing is that here in our problem given to design the protective type flange coupling. So to draw this we use empirical relation where width of the flange is 0.25 d. You can take any suitable length, and this thickness of the socket part of the flange you may take d by 7. So let's finish the video here, and thank you all for watching this video.